Welcome back, Troglodytes, to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. Today we have a Martin acoustic from the year 1983, my favorite year for Gibson because of the Spotlight Special, but we're in different territory now, the Martins. Alright, so this is basically an entry-level Martin that they were doing in the 80s, where they call it the Shenendoah series, and basically what they did was they outsourced some of the labor to Japan, where they built some of the guitar to Martin specs, and then they shipped them back to their Nazareth, PA, to piece it together completely. So some of it was from Japan, some of it was from the USA. That's kind of what keeps these guitars a little bit more affordable than the pure USA guitars. So final assembly was in Nazareth, PA, where just a few parts were made in Japan. So this one is a solid spruce top with laminated rosewood sides. And what that means is it's basically kind of like a veneer. They put the fancy, nice looking wood on the outside, but you got not as beautiful rosewood on the inside. So it's a beautiful guitar. This one, the modification to this one is an under saddle pickup, so you can plug it in if you desire to. And I believe that is an aftermarket upgrade. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guitar. You can see on the face of the headstock you do kind of have some sticker residue or something here. I mean, it's nothing too extremely bad, but you can see it there in the light. It's not a repair or anything. Something else to point out is the finish is a little bit chipped around the washers of the tuners. Just years and years of pressure in those areas can weaken the finish and cause that little chipping. You guys saw that on those Gibson Studios I did a week or so ago. Original nut on this one. Once again, the frets are in some pretty decent shape. They do show some very minor wear and tear. Fretboard is a nice dark color. Not 100% sure what exactly it is, but it's kind of like a very dark Brazilian rosewood look. It's definitely not what it is, but that's what it kind of looks like. Something I do want to make mention of is there, right under here on the first fret, you can kind of see some indentations there. Some of these nails are probably long. You don't have the grooves that you'll sometimes see, but you do have some scratching there. You can kind of see up here by this fret marker, there's a little area. It's probably just some grain in the wood, but it is right there. But overall, beautiful guitar. The action's pretty okay on it. A little high once you get up past the 12th fret, but overall still definitely playable. Thankfully there are no cracks on this one to really go over, but you do have some beautiful finish checking. And a beautiful spruce top on this one. It's got some activity going on with it, as you can see here as we shine it in the light. But we'll start going over the condition here. There's some light indentations and scratches. I mean, picture a vintage player and you're gonna know exactly what you're getting here. You've got some finish checking there that's showing up by the bridge. But overall, I mean, you've got some dings towards the outside that are a little heavier than on the inside of the guitar. This is definitely the worst of it and appears a lot worse in this bright lighting. I mean, normally you won't even see it hardly at all. So beautiful guitar. It's a pretty good player as well. Back of the headstock time, you can see the original tuners here. You have some finish checking on the back of the headstock as well, kind of around those tuners. There you can see it pretty well. And you have some light wear and tear towards the top of the headstock, but nothing too bad. This one has a V-styled neck, which means it kind of comes to a point and then it comes down. I would say this neck is kind of more of a soft V. I mean, there's not a super point, but I'm not 100% sure on the literature on that, since I'm mainly a Gibson guy myself and we don't see necks like these. But you've got some light nicks and dings on the neck, but nothing too incredibly bad. You got a beautiful three-piece back here. I mean, look at that back. That's pretty nice. You do have, some finish checking once again, and some nicks and dings that will go over here. So here in the light you can see some fingerprints that I've done by just handling the guitar, and some nicks and dings. But overall, I mean, the back's in good shape. I mean, it's not completely torn up by buckle rash or anything, but there is some wear and tear to be aware of. One modification to this guitar is somebody added a strap button here at one point in time. You can see it right there. It's been left bare and exposed. What that means for you is, hey, you can put one right in there. That's really convenient. You don't have to tie it at the top of the headstock anymore. Somebody else already did the modification, so you might as well use it. Beautiful rosewood veneer sides, laminated, beautiful. And once again, you can plug this one in. overall, the sides are fairly clean. You got some minor scuffs, but overall, very good. The saddle does have some room to be adjusted down and filed down, so you're definitely good on this one for a while before having to think about a neck reset. We'll take a look under blacklight here. Something that's kind of interesting on this guitar is right up here you can see kind of a little bit of discoloration there. It was likely a sticker that was there at one point in time that caused the lacquer to age a little differently. Here you can see those lacquer chips a little bit better around the washers. Stands out a little bit better for you. I think that's just a piece of dust right there. Yep. Front of the body, you can see the light wear and tear just from average wear and play. And there's that, the worst of the dings. It does break the finish, but it doesn't break the guitar. Similar to the front of the headstock, there is another one of those wear marks in the finish that you can only see under blacklight, and it looks like a cherry. So it's kind of a really cool guitar. You can nickname it Cherry. Got some wear and tear at the top of the headstock, but overall nothing too bad. No breaks, cracks, or repairs, but here you can see where some guy's probably thumb ring or something was dinging against the finish while he was playing some country chords. Some light wear and tear along the neck here, but once again, nothing out of the ordinary and nothing that really, like prohibits play. Looks like you got a very small little ding in the finish there. That's why black lights are great. You get to see everything before you buy. Here's where the strap pin was added to the back of the heel. But overall, I mean, this guitar, it's old. It's a Martin. I mean, it might not be a true Martin to some people, but it definitely still says Martin on the headstock, and it's a great player. This vintage Martin weighs 4 pounds, 7.2 ounces. This Martin comes in its original Martin case. As you can see, you've got some light wear and tear. It looks like some white residue, but nothing too bad there. Light nicks and dings around the outside, but definitely still a case worthy of this guitar. It's got a beautiful soft red interior. This kind of reminds me, if you're familiar with a late 90s Gibson historic case, the ones with the upside down custom shop art logos. It's very similar in feel to that. You got a nice compartment case in there, lid. And overall, it fits the guitar very well. There's a little bit of up and down motion, but side to side is pretty secure. For the clean tones, we'll be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30 RV. If you think you might be interested in owning this 1983 Martin acoustic guitar, check out Ron's Gear Garage on reverb.com or check out the link in the description. Alright, Troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.